it's Saturday morning, it's raining, it's way too early, and I'm here with my dad. We're on the way to go get the Audi 200. I never thought I'd be saying those words, but I guess here we are. The seller claims he has somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 boxes of parts for this car, so brought the heavy lifting along just to make sure we don't have any problems. I honestly never thought I'd be talking about getting this car. I didn't even really have them on my radar, but the A4 that I've been driving pretty much every day for 11 years now, it's starting to need a lot of work. And honestly, buying this other Audi costs less than fixing the Audi that I've got. Not that I'm getting rid of it, but something else to have some fun with, and hopefully a reliable daily driver, because if you're familiar with my channel, even if you're new here, you may be aware that nothing runs. Nothing is ever running. I don't have any running cars. For the past 6 months or so, isn't it? I've been fighting for just a reliable daily driver, and I haven't had one. So hopefully this Audi will be that. It'll be super practical. It'll be a lot of fun in the winter. We've got a 2.5 hour drive ahead. Hopefully the rain lets up by then, but see you when we get there. That is unmistakably it. Wow.
It's on this side. Okay, you got to turn it this way to deactivate it.
Okay.
So that's what I was talking about, the clip. I think the clip on that rod that connects.
Oddly enough, this was the first 200 Avant I'd ever seen in person, and I gotta say, it's even weirder in person than it is in pictures. All the angles, all the proportions, it's just a weird looking car. If you think it looks strange in pictures, I promise you it looks a lot stranger in person. My first impressions were that it was actually in really good shape. That little rust spot is the only spot on the car. Obviously, it's got surface rust underneath, and there's some age in the engine bay, but it's got a bunch of miles, so that's to be expected. But hey, it starts right up. As far as the interior goes, that's in really good shape too. Jed had the headliner redone professionally a couple years ago. It looks perfect, looks mint. The door cards look great. The dash doesn't have any cracks on it. And this thing is absolutely cavernous on the inside, something that came in handy when we tried to load all those boxes. As we went along, it became apparent to me that he wasn't just giving me the spares for this car, he was giving me everything he had come to own over decades of classic Audi ownership. Audi 4000s, Audi 5000s, Audi Coupes, Audi A4s, you name it, Jed probably had one. There was a crate with an entire sport package interior in a custom-built wooden crate. There was another crate that had a spare working transaxle in it. He was handing me Audi-specific tools, extra speedometers, extra dashes, extra radiator, extra door cards, an extra wiring harness, plus, incidentally, everything needed to address every single problem the Avant is currently having. He mentioned to me that the oil lines were looking a little rusty, but hey, guess what? Got new ones right here. That worn-off trim piece on the dash, got a new one right there. That massive air intake boot on the thing, that massive boot on the air intake is starting to get a crack here and there. Well, we've got a new one right here. Bulk oil filters, axle shafts, trailer hitches, there was a new mid-pipe for the exhaust, and then it turns out that wasn't even it. I had to come up a second time after this video was filmed with a 5x8 trailer and the truck to get more of the stuff. It was an incomprehensible amount of spare parts. I don't even know what I got, to be honest. Half the reason I was recording during this part was because it was easier than just taking notes. I was just letting him talk about everything as we loaded it up. Jed is really the type of guy who's forgotten more than I will ever know about these Avants, And I couldn't have asked for a better person to take care of a car and a better person to buy a car from. Jed selling this car to me was a full neighborhood event. You know, the neighbor kids were there riding their bikes around looking at the car. Jed's kids were there. They knew it. They called it his hot rod. They had all grown up around it. And it kind of felt like I was adopting one of them, to be honest. You could really, really tell. Jed had put his heart and soul into this thing. He had loved it for all these years. He was the best caretaker that he could be. I would go so far as to call Jed one of the foremost experts on this era of Audi in general. And I would just be honored to give it a good home and continue to add to its story while taking the best care of it that I can.
You want to put your arms around each other? I'm just kidding.
So we won't have to watch because we kind of have a bit of a clearance thing going here. No, I think you're good. I don't think it's going to be a problem. It has to be really far. Okay, well, maybe I'll be driving at this point. I don't know. This is unbelievable. I never thought I would even see one of these, let alone own one. This is wild to me. It's driving away without me. This is crazy. This is more stuff than we've ever hauled with this truck too. This is not like a high HD truck. This is Chevy Colorado with 3,800 pounds, something like that. And this must be 5,000 with the trailer. It must be at least 5,000 pounds, I would think. So we're putting the Chevy Colorado through its paces today. This is absolutely wild. I never thought I'd be standing here saying I have an Audi 200 Avant. This thing is ridiculous. Isn't it just like one of the weirdest looking cars ever made? Especially if you're not a car person and you look at this and you say, okay, where's the rest of the car on the back? Why are the wheels slightly covered in the back? And it's huge. It takes up more than the entire trailer, actually. It's hanging off the back and it's hanging off the front. The only car I've had this size, I think, was the 5 Series BMW from a couple years ago. But this thing has so much cargo space, it's unreal. I mean, look at how much stuff you can fit in here. This thing is completely packed to the brim, and actually kind of isn't though. You could put a few more things. He did tell me that somebody offered to buy the car just for this glass. Apparently this glass is so hard to find that somebody is willing to pay the asking price for the entire car and toss the rest of it away just so they could have the glass. Well, I get it, because it turns out they only made 6,000 of these for the world. Now that's about as rare as maybe an Isuzu Via Cross, although I can tell you a couple Via Crosses that are in my town, so I don't know if a Via Cross is all that rare in the terms of like rare Ferraris where there's only 2 of them or whatever, but they only brought about 1,000 of these to the US by the best numbers that I can find. So if you do the usual divide it in half trick, you know, half of them have either been crashed or parted out or parked behind somebody's field and they're undrivable. 500 or less of these things on the road. And I can remember seeing these on the internet and going, God, that's so ugly, but I love it. It's so ugly that it's cool. Like it's just beyond weird. It's beyond anything you ever see on the road. I love it. I never thought I'd have one though. There's a big difference between thinking something's cool and having one on your trailer in the middle of peculiar Missouri. I didn't think I would ever have this opportunity, to be honest, and I'm still kind of pinching myself. I feel like a kid on Christmas. I feel like a kid on Christmas. That's the best way to describe this whole thing. So I think at this point we're gonna get some pizza from Pizza Hut, which is back there. We are going to drive home very carefully because this truck is very packed with stuff. And I guess I'll see you at the warehouse where I'm going to park this Audi next to the Audi Fox and the Audi A4. Crazy. Awesome. Hey, thank you. See that right there? That's what it's about. Keeping this stuff alive. Wonder how long it took him to put a cone in that pothole. do you think?
It doesn't look like something you'd drive.
Really? Is it too nice?
It's like a family vehicle.
Oh, a family vehicle, yeah. I don't have a family yet, but maybe, you know, yeah, this is now my girlfriend. So pulling that with a mid-sized truck, we got 16.7 miles per gallon on the way back with the car. That's only the car, about 15 miles without the car, but that's pretty much only the car. Transmission fluid never got over 150. This is a really nice steed, man. My dad did well with this thing. My truck was destroyed in a tornado. I will have the record state. All right, we've arrived. The car is here safely. I think the next step is for me to put on a coat, and we're gonna get this in there. I've actually never driven this before. This is the first time here. Boy, this thing is a vault, I tell you. Okay, so this is the driving key, apparently. That's the ignition, obviously. That's 7 feet away from the, oh, I have power seats, right? Okay. Oh, power seats. The work. Functioning power seats. What is this? I can't have bought a vehicle with functioning anything. I don't understand. Okay, those are off. It took time, but it went down. Okay. Ready.
Bring it straight back. Emergency brake.
It's not on.
Okay.
What are we doing here? Try rocking me a bit. I feel like a brake might be stuck. Try rocking me a bit. Something's really stuck here. Hey, let me try the clutch again. All right, now we're moving, all right. We were just stuck somehow. God, the clutch is to the floor. We gotta adjust that. Good?
Perfect right now.
Good?
Yeah, cut a little bit, make a right-hand turn just a little bit. Not much. All right, that's good. Straighten back out.
Now we're on the ground. Boy, that clutch is about 6 miles long. I don't want to deal with that. Welcome home. Hope you like it. Okay. This is ridiculous. Can we just take this in for a second? Come over here with me and just take in all of that right there. Well, we had to play a little musical cars, but I think we've got it all figured out. So here's the lay of the land. We have Dad's, officially Dad's now, Honda N600. We have my Ford Fiesta 1980, my B6 Audi A4, the Audi Fox 1977, 2 Volkswagens in the corner, and then the trifecta is complete. This might not be everybody's trifecta, but personally, I think it's a pretty good one. So yeah, we have the Audi A4, the Audi Fox, and the Audi 200 Avant. We've got the Avant up on stands because the first thing we need to do is put the alternator on. It currently doesn't have an alternator. And lo and behold, the alternator on this car is underneath the car. See those wires there? That's part of the alternator hookup. So we need to do that. He suggested at the same time to change a couple oil lines which are in the area, which are sort of starting to look a little crusty. So we can do that. That's easy enough. Change the oil while it's all apart. And then I hope, fingers crossed, that's all it needs to be a running, driving car, because it's the only one in here that runs. I have no idea what's going on around here, but this is crazy. All of a sudden there are, let's count, I don't even know anymore. 2, 4, 6, 7 cars over here. The BMW at home, the Corvette at home, and the motorcycle at home. That is a grand total of 10 vehicles. Don't tell my mom that. She would be livid. But hey, that's how it goes when you have a car addiction, I guess. So that's all for today. The Audi Avant is home. Words I never thought I would say. If you like what's happening here, you want to see more on the Avant or any of these other cars, like and subscribe. And we will see you guys next time. Wave goodbye.